It's just a shunt to the left, and then a switch to the right. With your hand on the brakes, shunt those trucks in time. Follow the track in front, it'll show you the way. Let's do the Monday Club. Let's do the Monday Club with Jenny Kirk. Yay!
Hello there, everyone. Gosh, a new song. I haven't yet learnt the words. So, miming to a song you don't know the words, it's a little bit tricky. But there we go. Anyway, welcome along to another Monday Club. It's great to see you all. I hope I find you all well. And we've just got some admin from last week to sort out as well. Because a couple of people very, very kindly sent a donation in via... Let me just... come on, your phone. Robert Steers very, very kindly sent £5 on the paypal.me, and Charles Walsh as well sent £15 on the paypal.me. So I want to send a big, big thank you out to both of you. Really, really generous. Thank you very much. So much.
Incredibly generous. And Jenny, we have already had a spot of the TARDIS.
Have we? Does that mean Garthian's in?
Garthian is in.
So I hope everybody's liking the new angles. After last week's live stream, there's a couple of people keep pointing out that the mountain camera was a little bit sort of on an angle. So if I go over to Jablight Mountain, hopefully that is now at the correct angle, and we're not sort of.
It doesn't look right anymore. I don't like it.
No, it looks all right. It's the pillbox.
It's changed, and I'm scared of change.
No. Look at the tunnel mouths and the pillbox. They're sort of like on the as they should be.
Okay, Jenny, we have a question. Yeah, Lifestyle Unleashed says, I see diesels. Where are the tank engines?
Right. That is an issue caused by Zoe not listening properly to me.
I asked you if it was Steam Shunter Special, and you said yes.
No, it was
Shunterfest.
Shunterfest.
Thank you so much, George Botterini. You're so generous.
Thank you so much. It says great singing. George Botterini is very generously given on the Super Chat $15. Thank you ever so much for that. Now, the theme, as people who saw the poll in the Monday Club group will remember, is Shunterfest. It did not specify Steam or otherwise.
When I was putting the thumbnail together, and I asked you what was going on, and I said, Jenny, is it a Steam Shunter Special?
I was busy.
You
and
said
just shouted
yes.
from 2 rooms away, and it's like, yeah, whatever. So it is actually Shunterfest, and basically, what we've got running. What have we got running? Right, well, okay. We've got Hatton's Andrew Barkley as Ayrshire area.
I'm sorry, but I have to defend myself here. I asked her if it was Steam Shunter Special. She said yes. So it's her fault for saying yes when I said, is it Steam Shunter?
Squeal if I'm right. Apparently I'm right. We've also got a Gronk going around, and we can actually make the Gronk
it up. Yeah. Yes.
And then we've got a bit of a curved ball. We've got a Class 17, but in Ribble Cement livery, as the last surviving example of the Class 17 did end up working at Ribble Cement, I'm guessing, as a Super Shunter.
Up, baby.
Although saying that, Class 17, I'm trying to think how much. I think they're only about 600 or 800 horsepower. So they're not the most powerful, and they've got 2 engines, and by and large,
no waiting.
One of them would always be broken.
Like the milkshake machines in McDonald's.
Yes, there's a reason Class 17s weren't particularly successful. It's why it's a miracle that one actually does survive. We have also got a Daypol B4 dock tank as Guernsey in the London and South Western Railway livery.
And a lovely bunch of coconuts?
No.
Do you not have a lovely bunch of coconuts?
No, I don't. I thought, I could go for some coconut right now. The thing about coconut is that every time you eat a Bounty bar, you're still chewing it 4 days later. So it is the chocolate bar that keeps on giving. Right, let's see who's in the house. We've got Barnabas Junction, David Cook, Map the Dragon Railways, Bang Got You Junction, Carl Brand, Moreland Model Railway, Andy, Ham Shackleton, Vobert Becking, The Growler, Blackwood Engaged Layout, Robin Slewer, Pete Clark, It's My Model Railway, Timber Surf, The Angel Share Model Railway, Z Fantasy Trains, Train Spotting UK, Daniel Ray, Henry's Transport Adventures and Beyond, Gone Loco, Chris Hale's Heritage Railway. We've got a lot of a few new faces in there as well.
Excellent.
Southern Train Girl, hi to you. O O'Neill, great to see you back. Barry Turner, who asks, is that Ivor the Engine, the Class 8 pulling the maintenance train? No, that was the Network Southeast one that was done as a special commission by Model Zone quite a long time ago, actually. And that's also the same Class 8 that ended up in RTC livery, also re-released in RTC livery by Model Zone. So, I mean, that takes us back a bit. But no, that is Piccadilly in Intercity livery. Upwell and onwards, hi to you. J94, Clive Cobold, Crossways Point Junction, Bernie, Tico 360, Dean Fielding, Ickham Road, J. Paul Anderson, Penn Junction, Daryl Hearn says, love that angle. Yeah, when I de-squiffied the mountain cam, I also moved one of the cameras to this angle that you see here. So you actually now finally, for the first time, over here, see my turntable, which does go round if I crank the little handle, and you can actually now see that Class 46 spinning round. You can
Jenny's
actually...
turntable goes round and round,
Yes.
round and round, round and round.
Unfortunately,
Jenny's turntable
my
goes round and round
OCD
all
requires
day
that it be
long.
left in certain positions.
I'm going to go stoke the fire. I'll be back, my dear.
Okay.
You say hi to people and play nice with your friends.
Okay, there we are. Sorry, OCD, I have to put it back to a certain position, otherwise it annoys me.
You have so much OCD that you actually spell it CDO, because that way it's in
Alphabetical order, yes. We've also changed around one of the other angles, so I'm going to go to that, and you'll also see that we've just missed the Hatton's Andrew Barclay. But I thought, just for a change, I would move this camera around as well. So it normally pointed, if you remember, in the direction that would be if you look to the left of that shot. So if you were stood where that camera is and just turned to your left by 90 degrees, that's the direction that that camera used to point. And that is actually looking the other way from this angle. There we are. So you can actually just see the camera if you look where the chat is scrolling off the top. Just look across to the left above that water tower, and you'll just see that camera that made up this angle. Right, we got 303 people in. Don't forget to tickle the like button, and also consider sharing the stream to social media. Let everybody know that they are more than welcome to come and join us on the Monday Club, the perfect antidote to lockdown blues. James Hardy controversially says too many diesels. The title is wrong. The Cupboard Monkey put the wrong title in. She was supposed to put Shunterfest. But, you know, Cupboard Monkey knows best. Not. And put Steam Shunters in. So there are actually 2 Steam Shunters. But there's a Gronk and a Class 17. So we've also got, I think if we go to this angle, there is another Steam Shunter. Yes, you can just see, you'll see my finger just coming into view in the top left underneath the All Mouse Media logo. There is an ex-Lancashire and Yorkshire Pug, the Class 21 Pug, number 51207, which is just sort of sat there, sitting pretty. It does actually, it works quite well. Because I fitted it with a Stay Alive. This is the Train-O-Matic Stay Alive, which does actually work. It's in all honesty, it's the Stay Alive system that I most recommend for these. Not because they are the sponsor of the channel, but because they simply are the best fitting and performance-wise for this particular locomotive. It's as simple as that. They very much are the best option for these, in my opinion. So let's just leave her be. And there we are. Right, who else have we got? Flymo Chairman 1, hello to you. Thank you for posting the link to the Monday Club Model Railway group, which of course everybody's welcome to join, share pictures of your own builds and chat on there as well. And I also try and keep people updated of developments across the industry as well. Clive Cobold, Amtrak Junction, hi to you. So it's Amtrak Junction, Amtrak Ray, hi to you. Lifestyle Unleashed says it's nice to see the famous turntable, of course. Yes, I forget, of course, in all of the review videos, that, in fact, if I go to roving cam, there it is. Yeah, I've got to remember which button all these are on. That turntable is where I film the turntable shots. So, yeah, I never think, because I see it all the time. It never occurs to me that you guys don't necessarily see it an awful lot. Timber Surf says another $15 deducted. Oh, sorry. Let me just... I've managed to close the web page. I just want to keep track of this because I failed to acknowledge a couple of people who used the PayPal.me, and last week this was, so I do want to make sure. Oh, sorry, that's fine. I don't want to miss anybody this week. I felt really bad for missing people last week. Let's have a look. Samuel Ives, hi to you. Says, hi Jenny and Zoe, good evening. Great to be here. Thank you for doing this. Thank you very much. And it's a great honour that you guys have chosen to spend your Monday evenings here on the Monday Club. Now, news. What's been going on in the news? Well, you may have seen that the all-new Hornby 4 and 6 wheelers are starting to hit the shops already. We talked a little bit about this last week, but I've noticed quite a few people now have started to receive them. As far as I'm aware, the BR liveries are shipping to the shops, and there's one of the other liveries as well, and I can't, for the life... Oh, that was it, yes, the LNER, the BR, and the Great Northern Railway. And of course, the Great Northern Railway and the LNER ones look much the same, with the teak finish. Now, the teak finish does look really nice. I don't have one of those to get a close inspection of, but I do actually feel like I probably ought to get a few in the Great Northern Railway livery, because they do look quite nice. The video that I put up last week on the Wednesday has done incredibly well. I can't believe how much interest the 4 and 6 wheel coaches have generated. But we also did the interview with Simon Kohler, who took a little bit of time out from his busy day to join me in a sit down on Zoom. It was, we weren't in the same room. And we actually chatted for just over 2 hours, but we edited that down to about just slightly over an hour's video. So I asked him quite a lot of different questions, had a good long chat, and it was a really great interview, actually. It does seem to have gone down really well. So I'm looking to do some more interviews in the future. I know we've done some, did Fran Burke from Curascale, we've done John Barber from Rails of Sheffield, and also Ben Jones from Hellion. And I'm trying to, it's like trying to nail jelly to the wall, but I'm trying with a couple of other manufacturers as well. I'm gonna, they go down really well actually, so I'm gonna try and do some more of these interviews. And at some point, if Jules Holland or Rod Stewart are watching, then do please get in touch if you would like to be interviewed, because I would love to interview you guys. I've got so many questions. I think it would make a great video. It's probably quite arrogant of me to think that they would take time out and go, what's this Monday Club thing? Because, you know, they're busy people. But in the very small chance that either they or some of their people ever see this, then I would love to do an interview with you guys. Derek Pensome, hi to you. Southern Train Girl, hello. Lifestyle Unleashed. Timber Surf says, lovely shot of the wagons. Yeah, I do actually quite like this angle. I could see it getting boring quite quickly, if only because you don't see a huge amount of the trains running. But it does show off that there is actually a big yard full of lots of wagons. It does show it off really, really well. Big hello to Wardle Road. Great to see you as well. And Andy 1962 says Simon does like to talk, doesn't he? Just he has a lot of enthusiasm for the hobby. and a lot to talk about. It was actually really great to just sit down and chat with him. The 2 hours, it was about 2.25 hours that we sat down and chatted, but it just went by just like that, which is always a good sign. Amory Junction, hello to you. East Midlands Train Spotter 2021, hello. Teddy Edward, March West Junction TMD. Keith Pointer says hi from Cannock Railway Club. A big hello to you guys as well. New Western Grove says, I am upgrading my entire DC layout and trains to DCC with Stay Alive. Only the new 009 layout will be DC. It can be quite a big investment, and, let's be honest, when you first do it. But I personally have found DCCing the locomotives has been a game changer for me. And I actually thought, I say this over and over again, I actually thought that DCC sound would be the game changer for me. That was what actually made me think now's the time to get into DCC. So I got a few sound fitted locos, but what I actually found was that I got more use out of the other features of DCC. My point work hasn't gone DCC. That is still, old school. So you can probably just about hear the click of the CDU firing. I'm quite happy with that. But I am at some point looking to get some of the daypole working semaphore signals and start replacing the non-working ratio signals that I've got knocking around the layout. And I'm thinking I might try and put them on DCC control. Right, as said, beverage of choice tonight is just Diet Coke, because I'm trying to stay awake. I had tremendous insomnia last night. I saw all of the minutes right up to at least 5:30 this morning, and then I had to get up. I managed to get a lie-in till 10, which is really late for me. But given that I hadn't got to sleep until at least after 5:30, I was just tossing and turning all night. I don't know what it was. When you want to sleep, but your brain is just racing. It doesn't happen to me often, thank goodness, but it did last night. So I haven't been able to have a power nap or anything today. So I'm sucking fumes at the moment. I am running on the caffeine I can glean from Diet Coke. But I've just been so busy. I had to film a load of stuff. I did some filming yesterday, but today I've been working on, all I can call it is Super Secret Project 10. Now, we had Project 009, which came to be known as Minith Tatters, which is Potato Mountain. Well, Super Secret Project 10 is for a TV series. That's all I can tell you. But I've been hard at work on that. I've also had to do a whole load of other stuff as well. So it's been such a busy day. Unbelievable, but just didn't get any sleep. Stevie Film says, Jenny, you need to stop getting any more popular. Otherwise, we won't be able to keep up with the feed. I already struggle reading out people's questions. I know that if you've ever seen Sam's Train's live feed when he does a live thing, it's like and I think the way that he's operating is that the only way you can stand a chance of him seeing your message is by doing a super chat donation, so it flags up for him. And I can imagine that it's really, really hard. I mean, I've never been into a live stream done by the even bigger channels. You can imagine a channel with like 1 million subs does a live stream and you've got no chance in the chat. It's just like in a big, huge blur. But I do try and read out as much as I can. Edward C. Tucker, hi to you. Matt Ovell. Pete Clark says, missed messages, just goes too fast. Really sorry about that. 1701, the filed flyer, evening to you. Adrian Warwick says, you could try Jules Holland. I think I'm probably well behind actually. So you probably said that before I started talking about them. But yeah, if anybody who's watching has any way of getting in touch with Jules Holland and Rod Stewart, I would love to have an opportunity to interview them. And, in post-COVID times, I'd love to actually go and film their layouts, but I know they're very busy people, and they'd be like, Jenny, you? Take a hike. No, they're probably really, really nice people. Patrick Ling asks, when's Bachman's next releases? I think it'll be next month, but don't quote me on that. They're doing it quarterly. So we'll just have to see when they announce that. St Mary Church Model Railway, hi to you. Are you all right there, Cupboard Monkey?
Yeah, I was just putting out some washing next to the fire. So
Andy T741 says, wouldn't get Jules's piano in the loft, gent. No, I don't think we would. So I always wanted as a child to learn how to play the piano, and I was never given the opportunity. Wamgok says, great interview with Simon. Thank you very much.
You've got opportunities now, James.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, Fig Freak brings up a very good point. Says Phil Collins and Roger Daltrey have layouts as well. And of course, if either Roger Daltrey or Phil Collins are watching this, or any of their people, then yes, do get in touch, drop us a line. We would absolutely adore to have the opportunity to interview you guys as well. I think it'd be great for the hobby, and certainly be a really good and interesting interview.
Was Roger Daltrey one of the James Bonds?
No,
I'm thinking of someone else.
You're thinking of Timothy Dalton.
That's it.
No, Roger Daltrey is the lead singer of The Who. You know, who are you? Who?
Get him on.
I'd love to, actually, yeah. Bakersard Junction, hi to you. Gwion Reese Davies, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you as well. Ben Davis says, thanks for the video and giving up your time. Oh, you know how to massage my ego, don't you?
Well, it's not hard.
Leslie Gilpin, John Nelson says, a lot of people liking these new angles. I'm going to go just so we oscillate between them.
I'm not sure about them. I fear change.
The other good thing about this one is...
You get to see the shunt?
Well, no, because it's on a bracket.
Why do we want to turn it to see you twice?
Well, you know, I kind of move out the way, so I'm just going to move it to there. But it is on a bracket. It can be moved around. So I have been very cunning with some DIY. Joshua WF56, hi to you. Timbersurf, absolutely, is the one after Project 009. Project 009, funnily enough, I know nobody will believe me on this, but Project 009 was literally my 9th project build.
And your secret project is Project X?
No, it's that. Well, yes, I suppose so. But X being the Roman numeral for 10.
Yeah,
but
X marks the spot.
It just seemed. It had to be when I dabbled in 009. It had to be that it came up when I was on my 9th project build. So Project 009 was actually quite a clever name for the working title. Amtrak Junction, Amtrak Ray, hi to you. Naive Gauge says, oh no, just been outbid on eBay. You know all about that, don't you?
Oh, don't get me
with
started
those
on eBay.
snipers. Apparently, I've just seen a message from Ollie, aka Wardle Road, saying I'm about 15 minutes behind on the chat. So, right, let me just... right, I'm going to try and move up to date. Big hello to Mark Jakes. I'm assuming that's pronounced Jakes, or is it Jax? Jakes. Hi from Seattle.
I suspect it's Jax.
Hi from Seattle. Many thanks for the Hornby 2021 coverage. Very much appreciated from over here. You're absolutely welcome, and thank you ever so much for joining us for that stream and joining us tonight as well. Stevie Film says, if Hatton stick to their plan, they will have significantly more variants of their Genesis coaches than Hornby. London, Brighton and South Coast Railway alone, there are 17 on their website. Yeah, and it's something that I did say at the end of my review of the Hornby coach, was that I feel that the market is big enough to support both. And once all the dust settled, I think a lot of people realised that they're not really directly competing. Because when you look at the coaches offered, the actual coaches that Hattons are offering, not many, if at all, of those match the types of coaches that Hornby are offering, and vice versa. So they complement each other. You know, it's a bit like, you know, you can dip in and out of each other's range in the Mark 1s between Hornby and Bachmann, although it's possibly not quite as much of a good comparison, because there is a little bit of duplication, but certainly there existed more than one of each coach on each railway. So as long as they're different running numbers, they will complement each other's ranges. So I think it's going to get very expensive this year, not least because
you see that everywhere.
Oh no, this year is going to get expensive. There's a lot of great stuff coming through. But I will be buying several complete rakes in different liveries of both the Hornby and the Hattons coaches, pre-grouping coaches. And rather than one getting my custom from the other, what I've actually chosen to do is I've actually made good use of the fact that these ranges complement each other, and the Hornby items that I have ordered are in addition to what I want to get from Hattons. So Hornby are not actually pinching any business from Hattons from me. They're getting just additional business. But as the
sometimes that, like we said before, competition doesn't necessarily mean bad stuff.
Yeah. Right, Leslie Gilpin says, Mark Wilson, Peter Snow's swingometer won't fit in Jenny's loft. Of course, yes, Peter Snow. He did it. He did some promotional work on the Bluebell when they were digging out the Imberhorn landfill site that was blocking the cutting. White Wall Wheels 1 Hardcore MOH, hi to you. Ron B says, the Hattons win hands down on detail. Yeah, having seen the Hattons EPs, they are definitely more refined on detail, which when you couple with the fact that they're about the same price as the Hornby ones, they do offer incredibly good value for money in that respect. And I think the Hattons ones will do well. That said, what you've got to remember is that Hornby, they're selling through all of the other model shops. Now, Hattons have discontinued their wholesaling network, which means that local model shops can no longer stock brand new from Hattons, the Hattons original ranges. So what you also have to remember, and it's something I've not seen anybody mention, and it's almost a little bit, it's one of the several elephants in the room. It is getting quite crowded in that room, but it's the fact that the Hornby coaches can be sold through any model shop, whereas the Hattons ones are only being sold through Hattons. So if you want to support your local model shop, the only way with the pre-grouping ones is buying the Hornby ones, because you just can't get the Hattons ones from elsewhere.
That is an interesting point.
Yeah.
Why don't Hattons start branching out with that?
Because it causes a lot of issues. I suspect one of the reasons, and I have no proof of this, so don't quote me, go like Jenny says. But I do wonder whether a part of it might be about the fact that we know that Hattons and Bachman parted company, and it may be that Hattons have decided that being seen as a manufacturer in their own right and distributing their products to model shops is something that might cause business friction with other manufacturers. So that's purely my speculation there. I'm just putting it out there. Hattons have not said anything, nor have I asked them anything on this, and I wouldn't expect them to comment on this, but it's just from being on the outside, that's my thoughts.
Yes. When you say it like that, it does make an awful lot of sense. It's interesting that they wouldn't have tried to create a subsidiary then.
No, I think everybody else is a little bit, they'd see through that. Would be my guess.
Perhaps they would, but it's still the veil, you know?
Alright, DL Warren says, I do think a set of the Great Northern Railway coaches headed by an Ivet 422 single wheeler could look great. Although, don't forget, I think the National Railway Museum does still have some of the Ivet Atlantics, which are the 442s, in Great Northern Railway livery. So there is a Great Northern Railway livery locomotive available from the National Railway Museum. I think Rails of Sheffield may, don't quote me on that, but they may also be stocking those limited editions. But those are the perfect locomotives to go with the Great Northern Railway 4 and 6 wheelers. And certainly when I do finally get some Great Northern Railway liveried coaches, that is the locomotive that I will have pulling them.
Wow, according to James Hardy here, Pete Waterman part-owned the Flying Scotsman at one point.
I can imagine. Lots of people have part-owned it. That thing's a giant money pit. Tim Condrup, hi to you. Chris Gal, 1959. Good evening, Jenny and Zoe, fellow Monday lovers. Hey. Keith Pointer says, greetings, O-Gauge fans. New Western Grove. I have only 8 locos and 5 are DCC ready, so not that many decoders, but they are all different. 10 pins, 2 8 pins, and 12 pins. I'm guessing that must be the Plux sockets. I'm guessing that would be because the Plux standard is a bit of an odd one. You can fit a Plux 22 decoder in a Plux 16 and a Plux 12 locomotive. So the bigger decoder just hangs over the edge the way it's designed. It is actually all quite clever. And I think you can fit the smaller Plux decoders in a larger Plux slot. It's just that then won't give you some of the auxiliary functions. But I'm assuming that.
Okay, we've got a question here from Daniel's 00 Model Railways. Jenny, what do you think is the best DCC controller?
The best DCC controller. I don't have a lot of experience with DCC controllers. Essentially, I have experience of two. So, the Gauge Master, what have we got? Gauge Master Prodigy Express is a really good entry-level system. Pretty reliable. What I would suggest is getting a booster unit to go with it. But then I've also got, just give it to me, and this comes very highly recommended, the NCE Power Cab. Excuse me. And if you get something like the Alpha Base booster from DCC Concepts, both of these can plug in. So I actually am able to swap between the two of them here. So the Gauge Master one allows easy use of my programming track. But the NCE Power Cab is ultimately, this is for Mineth Tatis, but I can also use it up here. And this comes highly recommended by Ken Patterson on the What's Neat This Week podcast.
It's a big boy, isn't it?
It is, and it's really solidly made. There's like a good feel to this. So really do recommend these. And it's also the standard that DCC Concepts work to. So they treat this as being, this is the gold standard. So a lot of people recommend the NCE Power Cab. So there's got to be something in that.
Can I just ask a quick question? What's the difference between the two?
One's made by NCE, one's made by...
a lot bigger and doesn't seem to have the same dial on it. So what's the difference?
Well, it's a bit like, saying what's the difference between a Ford Fiesta and a Fiat Panda. They're both cars. They both do car things. They have windows you can open, they have doors, they've got a steering wheel and an engine and an accelerator, a brake and a clutch. But they have different ways of putting that experience together.
So one will work better for one person than another.
Yeah, it's about personal preference, but the NCE does come highly recommended from a lot of very reputable people. Ken Patterson, he speaks incredibly highly of the NCE Power Cab. He's so Ken Patterson and also Richard Brighton at DCC Concepts were the two people who really spoke immensely highly of the NCE Power Cab, which is the reason that I've got one of those as well. And they are both absolutely right on that. It was a great system. But also, in terms of cheap and reliable, I have had no problems with the Gauge Master Prodigy Express.
Fair enough. Oh, Wardle Road. Hi, Ollie. He's saying, I really want to go to an exhibition. Sad crying face, sad crying face, sad crying face, sad crying face, sad crying face.
Yeah. I completely feel with you there as well, because I really want to go to an exhibition as well. Where I'm bored of lockdown now. We've done lockdown. I've done everything that was novel in lockdown. So what I really, really want now is to do all those things we used to do before lockdown. It will come. Vaccinations are going on. Hopefully, we're now at the point where we're kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I know that tentatively some people are saying that exhibitions could start to happen probably from summer onwards. Don't hold your breath too much, but I know that whilst Alexandra Palace in March has been cancelled, they are looking at the feasibility of holding Alexandra Palace later in the year, subject to things getting sorted out.
So, Jenny, what's the news this week?
The news this week? You asked me this before.
I know, but I can't remember if you actually answered it.
I can't remember. You've got to remember, I am very, very tired because I haven't slept very much. News this week. Accurascale have released the list of all of the livery... they're like computer rendered liveries of the Class 37s and the Class 55s. I count 13 between the two of those that I really, really want. So when I said this was going to be an expensive year, I was not kidding, because between the Hornby range, the Hatton's Project Genesis, there's some Bachmann stuff as well, like that H2 Atlantic and London Brighton and South Coast Railway livery, and a Accurascale with the 37s and the 55s. It is gonna get very expensive. So I've already seen that the locomotive I really, really want to get is the T9 from Hornby in that London and South Western Railway livery. And it's like I've been hovering over the buy button. I've kind of got Tim at Arcade who's on the speed dial, and it's like, no, behave yourself, Jenny. So if he's watching, I haven't had a call from Jenny. It's because I've been trying to be good and it's not working. I want one of those T9s, but they are quite expensive, and that's the problem. Is that it is becoming quite an expensive hobby. But that livery is amazing, and I really want that locomotive to go with a full set of the Hattons Project Genesis London and South Western Railway coaches. Oh, right. Anyway,
a lot of people are saying now that the betting is on that it won't be until 2022. That we actually start getting exhibitions again. I want to say no to that. I want to say we'll get them by the end of this year.
I think that there's going to be an element of, both of you are right, some exhibitions don't want to risk it because they don't have the economic reserves to weather having to cancel. So they may well take the view it's safer to say, look, we're just coming back in 2022. Other exhibitions will go ahead. Probably those towards the end of the year, I would suggest, but it's all dependent on the vaccine, things like that. So we are going to get back to normal. It's just a question of when. Right.
I suppose.
Ben Tullett says, I've recently been watching a very interesting train-related TV programme on Sky History called Combat Trains, which is all about the railways and trains in all the past world conflicts. I submitted... that we're talking like about 3 years ago. I did a whole load of work for formats, TV formats, and it was called Trains to the Trenches. And I went through 3 different production companies, and they all said no. And what really grinds my gears is that that's now the second series that I've seen made that essentially is like, that's my format. Probably isn't. In fact, almost certainly isn't. I'm not accusing them of plagiarism, but
the problem is the chances are
somebody else thought the same good idea. At the end of the day, it says to me it was a bumming good idea because other people were thinking about it.
Well, it's not just that, but if you think about it, there's a chance that you were pitching either at the same time or just after someone else had.
Could be. There was another one where I pitched it, and we're in the meeting down at Plum Productions in London. And halfway through, he says, I'm going to stop you there because we happen to know that has just been green-lit with another production company. And I went, you what? You want what now? And he went, yeah, somebody's doing that. And it's like, on the one hand, you're thinking, I am so on the money on this. I came up with a winning formula. But I was about 6 months later than somebody else who did.
I had the same thing with the Life of Naughty Mouse, my comic, which came out just at the same time as SpongeBob SquarePants. I was so annoyed.
Ben Powell 009 says, I've got a set of the Hattons NCB liveried 6-wheelers on pre-order. Can't wait. Yeah, and I think that they are going to sell extremely well. The departmental coaches from Hattons, I think, will as well. And there's a few other liveries. I think that Lancashire and Yorkshire could prove to be quite a good, strong seller because there are the Aspinall Radial 242 tanks. We have had 2 in Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway livery, and there is a third one that was announced by Bachmann that we're still waiting on. Add to that, Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway livery, Dapol did a Class 21 Pug in Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway livery, so there are locomotives to go with those.
So we've got a very interesting point here from Andy 1962, where he's saying that the average age of attendees at exhibitions is so high, so many, for understandable reasons, will not want to go until they feel safe. So even if people do start up exhibitions this year, the chances are not a lot of people who would normally be there would actually go along until they are sure that they're going to be okay.
There is that risk. However, a lot of the older people will have been vaccinated by then, so it swings and roundabouts. Anyway, right, enough about COVID-19. Ryan G says, hope the Hattons quality control is better this time than with the 6060. Yeah, I've heard there's been a few issues with those. Mark Jakes, next time you speak to Hornby, Please pass on my utter disgust at their US service here. Never received pre-orders from 2019. 2020 I gave up and just ordered from the UK retailer. That's very strange. Did you get a confirmation from Hornby that the pre-order had gone through? That strikes me as weird. It's like, what's the matter? Is my money not good enough for you? So I will, if I remember, I will mention that. I don't. It's not like I've got him on there's not like a red phone down here, and I pick it up, and it's like, Police Commissioner Simon Kohler, haha. It's not like that. But if I do speak to him and I do remember, I will pass that on.
Yeah, the phone's not red; it's blue.
No, it isn't. It'll be red. It'll be red, just like the boxes. The blue one goes to Bachman. Right.
She's just confirmed she's got a hotline to Bachman.
There's 417 people in. Really great turnout. Don't forget to tickle that like button, and do consider sharing the stream as well, and let people know that the Monday Club is up and running and everybody is welcome. Because I know that one of the things, I always say this every week, but it's true, that we know how difficult it is for a lot of people isolating. If you live on your own, you don't have a bubble to bubble with for whatever reason. The Model Rail Club's shut down at the moment. If you can do things over Zoom, it is good, but it's not quite the same. It's a great opportunity. 2 hours just interacting with like-minded people. It is really, really important.
Ollie's got an interesting point here.
Yeah.
He says that he's going to hold his own exhibition and only he can attend.
I do that every day. Right. Hello to Philip Page.
Hello to Sir Patrick Furlong.
Yes. Patrick's in the house. Sir Patrick.
Big Freak says, pizza for Zoe, it's over 400.
Yeah, there is pizza. It's down in the fridge because we had it yesterday. Rachel Houston says, I've ordered the Hornby R6897BR 75-ton yellow breakdown crane Era 6. It looks great. Cannot wait for it to arrive. Actually, the one that I'm really looking forward to is the Oxford Rail breakdown cranes. And they've got a set of 4 that they announced, I think it was last year. Really interested to see how those progress. They have the potential to swoop in and take Model of the Year in much the same way that their Bosch Buster gun did in previous years. And the price on them that I've seen quoted, I am expecting that to go up, but if it doesn't, it's an unbelievably good price. But I've not seen it revised yet, so that is also one to watch out for. Right, D.L. Warren says, Waterman bought Scotsman from the late Dr. Tony Marchington. Then she went to the National Railway Museum. Right, I'm with you. Big hello to Liam at New Mills Model Railway. A lot of people saying 400 watches. It's pizza time. Big hello to Johnny Rotten. Flint Hills Model Railway Jeff Hammond, who suggests the best DCC controller in their opinion is the DR5000. Not one I've actually come across, but Gwion Rhys Davies also suggests that as being a good option as well. New Western Grove says, yeah, one is the Class 121 with 10 pins. 10 pins? Are you sure? No.
Bowling.
The Class 121, the Daypole, and as far as I'm aware, the Bachmann one are 21 pin chips, although the Bachmann one could be on a Plux 22, which is a 22 pin chip, so I'm not familiar with that.
Sorry, I wasn't listening quite right there. Did you just say that one of them had a flux capacitor?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
the Hellion Class 35, Railroad Class 43, and the J50 from Hornby will all be 8-pin decoders.
We've got an interesting question here. Tobias says, hi Jenny, first time watching. Have you heard anything about the Daypole Rails D-Class recently?
Right, what I do know is that Daypole did post a message on their Facebook page because of the COVID lockdown and to be able to have all their staff safe. They've unfortunately been forced to close down the showroom. They are working from home, but as soon as they make any official announcement, then I will pass it on. But there's been no official announcement. But you could take that both ways. It also means that there's no announcement that it's been delayed. So just wait and see. But no, I haven't heard anything officially.
It's worth remembering that if there's no announcement that's delayed, then
Yeah, no news is good news.
Yeah.
Right. Hello to Stockton Junction. It says, I use the Ecos. Very expensive. Sorry, pretty expensive, but very user-friendly and tons of features. Right. I'm probably well behind. Madden Steam Railways. Good evening, Jennifer. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Pretty good, actually. Very tired. Had insomnia last night. Must admit.
Yeah, I'm having to prod her awake with a stick.
Right, Mark Holt says, has anyone tried making Jack Daniel's custard? I normally do brandy, but my only open bottle is Jack Dandy.
My goodness.
Jack Daniel's.
Jack Dandy?
Yeah, tell us how that works out, because I am quite interested. Now, if somebody's asked, where's Stepney? I don't have Stepney.
Jen,
but...
just while you're up, why has that one been sat there for ages on the bridge, not moving?
Well, because I just sat there for ages on the bridge just to see if you'd say anything. So, I don't...
Oh my goodness, James Hardy says, who finds the Hornby 2021 range a bit disappointing? Now them's fighting words.
I think at the end of the day, the range will always be disappointing if you have very specific things that you're looking forward to and they don't get announced. For me, it was actually a pretty good range of announcements. And I'm going to put... let's see, where can I put Box Hill? Box Hill looks just like
Well, I know where you could put it.
Yeah. No. I'm going to put Box Hill there.
So we have another Shunter, a steamy Shunter.
Yeah, that is Box Hill. In fact, I'm going to move it a little bit closer to the
Mark
camera.
Wilson says, Jenny, you are now 1 week behind the comments.
I can imagine, yeah. Unfortunately, so, right. And good, yeah, we are actually, because Vic Freak says the Fiat Panda rusts out and the Ford breaks down all the time. How we were talking about cars a long time ago. Yeah. Right, scrolling, Bluminette, you guys have been busy. Mark Wilson, yeah, sorry, that's the one you just read out. Pete Clark says, haha, Waddle Road, Ben, well, hopefully we can say hi at the next one if there ever is one. Dongit's Model Railway, Hornby should have done a Mark 1 BFK instead of a BCK. Change my mind. Actually, the BSO. Has anybody done the BSO Mark 1? There are types of Mark 1 that have not been done. The BCK has been done by Bachmann. Is the market big enough for two manufacturers making it? The BCK is a bit more specialist than, say, an SO or an SK, which there were an awful lot of. I think one of the main reasons that they're doing it is that the I did notice that the intercity liveried one is actually the one that's at the National Railway Museum, so it may be in part to tie in with the National Railway Museum. I know what you mean, but they will be coming in at a much more competitive price than Bachmann are pricing their Mark 1s. So again, it goes back to what we said before about competition can be a good thing for the modeler. It does mean you're going to be able to get a cheaper BCK than before, up to a high standard.
Okay, Steve M says, I've been cooking in the kitchen, half watching you, but what is that white train going round? It looks continental, with an observation gallery on top.
That is actually...
the Ribble Cement?
That'll be the Ribble Cement, Class 17. So actually, if I go to this, you'll see it go past.
In just a second.
It's a British Railways Clayton Class 17. It's got a central cab, and then they had two engines, one under each end's bonnet. That locomotive is in the livery of Ribble Cement, which is where the prototype ended up. There was quite a lot of them. They were deeply unsuccessful. Pretty much all of them got scrapped in the early 70s, never even got a tops number, which presumably means they were all gone before like 1972, which is very, very early. There were a number that went on, I think it was 4 that went on into other usages with the Rail Technical College, the RTC, and then 1 ended up being sold into industrial use, which is the single one that does survive, and that is the one that was used as an industrial shunter. Hence, on Shunterfest. It doesn't come out to play very often, it has to be said.
Ryan G says, wow, a Class 17 Clayton that's not on fire.
Yes, I know that we're now seeing one of the reasons they weren't very successful. Barry Turner asks, do you know what is happening with the YOB Placid 12-ton crane? I have pre-ordered one, but Hatton's emailed me to say awaiting on pre-order numbers. I suspect, but again, don't know for certain, that it may be that not enough people pre-ordered it, and they decided that for the time being, they weren't going to proceed, because if there's not enough pre-orders come in, then they may take the view that it's too much of a commercial risk. So it's not cancelled, that would suggest, but it's on hiatus pending more pre-orders, would be my guess. James Hardy says there's loads of Hornby steam locomotives that need retooling. Yeah, I mean, the Class 21 Pug outwardly looks all right, but could do with a makeover on the inside, certainly to make it DCC ready. Other locomotives in the Hornby stable, I'd love to see an all-new Class 6 Shunter done properly, not that railroad rubbish that they did before. I don't think there's a market for the Class 40, the Class 55 or the 52 or the 35 to be retooled. But we are going to see the 55, the Railroad 55, come out with sound. I'd love to see an improvement of their 25 as the 25-0. I believe that that's what their model originally was, the 25-0, which is the one type of Class 25 that we have not seen announced or produced ready to run from any of the high fidelity manufacturers. So that is a potential one with TTS sound. Always no apologies. I am a big fan of TTS sound.
Here's a question that I think we've answered a while back, but it's been a while. Naive Gauge says, Jenny, are all of your locos converted for DCC?
Yes.
Or do you still have a horde of locos that you're not able to run out on your layout?
I'm looking up there, I have 3 locomotives that are not DCC fitted. 2 of them are split chassis Bachmann Class 04 Shunters, and the third one is actually it's a Hornby HO 060, a French loco, so actually it doesn't really count. So scrub that. I've got 2 of the potential pool to be converted aren't converted, but everything else is. But I don't include my retro collection of Hornby 00 and I guess that Hornby HO one in that. So yeah, short answer is 2. 2 that could be converted, but I've chosen not to. Right, Darren Mould asks, what make is the turntable? That is the, if I go to...
Pico, isn't it?
Yes, it's a Pico, I think it's LK55 is the catalogue number. So, oops, wrong one I've gone to. I think it's this camera. I'm still learning these cameras since I moved them around. So you'll just see up there, I'm sure the camera's moved slightly because, yeah, I'm sure that's moved slightly.
Yeah, you moved it earlier on.
No, what I mean, there we go, right, we're going to have it at that. It's the Pico one, and I've motorised it using Meccano gearing underneath, which is why when I was cranking the little handle it was going round. Right, Stevie Film says amazing Rebel cement, used it for so long. Yeah, I know what you mean actually. I'm surprised it didn't break or catch fire for them.
Wardle Road says, Garthian, could you get a Dalek DCC sound fitted?
Possibly.
That'd be quite cool actually.
Right, yeah, Ben Tullett actually also says the same thing. Didn't Hattons halt the Placer Crane project due to lack of demand at the moment? They're on their website, so presumably if people order them and enough come in, then it will get greenlit for production. Simon Train's Model Railway Showcase says, Steam, last time I was at the Ali Pally, saw the Silver Lady from the biggest little railway in the world. Sure Jenny Kirk knows about that TV show. Yeah, I've heard about that one.
Wasn't there some Wally called Jenny Kirk on it?
Yeah, there was a Jenny Kirk on that. I think she was the Team D leader. Yeah, something like that. Right. Hello to David Cook. Garthian's found the TARDIS found the grassy knoll. I think you've already moved it. Michael Pollitt. Hi Jenny. Their nickname. Why were they called teddy bears? So the story goes, Swindon Works built the Great Bear, the Great Western Railway locomotive. And then when they built the Class 14s, they said, well, we've built the Great Bear, now we're building a teddy bear. And the name stuck. Another theory is that when you look at the cab doors from the walkways, for some reason somebody decided it made it look like teddy boys. But I don't know what the actual story is. I suspect it's more the Great Bear teddy bear thing.
Fine. Jen, I'm just going to suggest that you do a quick check of your PayPal just in case. I tried to check it, but obviously I don't know your password.
You don't know my password.
So if you just check that while I'm looking up some more questions for you.
Okay, yeah, I forgot to check this actually.
Yeah, because last week you forgot, so let's just make sure, just in case.
What, do you know
George,
something I don't?
No, I'm just saying just in case. Because last week we had to thank people this week, and I don't really want to be doing that again. George Botterini says, Hornby support in the US is a bit poor. I've had several issues on products, and their response from the UK is, oh, you're on a list, we'll call you, don't call us. That was 6 months ago. Hornby US doesn't really help either. That's a real shame, because they've been nothing but helpful to you when you phoned up, haven't they?
Yeah, Hornby have been great for me. It's a puzzle, to be honest with you.
It really is.
I will try and mention it if I'm in a position to. James Hardy, actually, I would agree with this. Hornby doing a 9F is a bit of a strange one because Bachmann do a decent one. And I'd agree with that. Somebody actually very kindly sent me a Bachmann 9F because it was a glaring omission in my collection. I'm eternally grateful for the person who kindly sent that in. And I'd agree with you on that. The Bachmann model is not a bad model. It could do with, on the electrical side, maybe move the DCC socket to the tender. Although saying that, the version I've got is one where the socket is in the locomotive, moving it to the tender, giving it a provision for an easy sound fit. They may have already done that on the most recent ones, I don't know. But certainly, it is an odd choice. Oh, this is... screws.
Are you breaking it again?
Yep, I'm breaking it. So
here we go. Noise.
So let me just.
Have you just broken?
No.
Oh, I've just seen the best T-shirt.
Does it involve you getting a smack bottom?
You know the Greg's Baker's logo.
Not personally, but
you know the logo on Greg's the Baker on the high
I
street.
think I know what you mean.
Well, I've just seen a pregnant lady wearing a T-shirt. A maternity-sized T-shirt that says Pregs. And that is just the best.
That is pretty good, actually. Right, running repairs on the chair. Ooh, that's so much better.
Yes, this chair from the 70s is basically re-scaffolded now.
I just picked that up. I thought it was my phone. Right, Keith Pointer says, Jennifer, is just Hornby you go for, or anything in your price range, or you got shares in Hornby? I just put them
buys
straight,
everything.
but not shares. I have no shares in anything. It's one thing I've never dabbled in. Anybody who knows me, personally, will get to know that I don't do gambling. It's just there's not a religious element. There's nothing like that. I'm not, I've not being a gambler and I've got to keep on the wagon or any rubbish like that. No, it's quite simply I've never in my entire life found gambling in any way something that I wanted to do, and I feel like stocks and shares is like gambling in a way, which it is. So I don't have shares in any company. Don't get me wrong, if somebody just went, hey, yeah, I have $10,000 worth of shares in Microsoft, knock yourself out, I wouldn't say no. But
you wouldn't go out and get it yourself.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy them myself. So I don't have any shares in Hornby, and I think my collection attests to the fact that I have probably more Bachmann than I do Hornby. But what is interesting is
you used to buy Bachmann a lot.
10 years ago, I bought almost no Hornby, and virtually everything. I would say 95% of what I bought was Bachmann, with maybe 2% Hornby. Now it's probably the other way round.
Thank you so much, Ian White. That is really generous. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Ian White has very, very kindly given us £5 on the Super Chat, which goes a great way to help us keep producing the videos that you want to see. Are you all right over there, Cupboard Monkey?
For some reason, while I'm sat on a chair, my knee has just popped out of joint.
Oh. Rachel Houston, hi to you. Oh, Somerset Andy. Also, we're talking about the 9F, but Somerset Andy, and apologies to the I can't remember your name right off the top of my head, who sent in the 9F. Very, very generous. But Somerset Andy, I'm just looking for it now. I think it's up there somewhere. Very, very generously sent in the Class 47 when when it was deemed that my collection was pathetic. Not he didn't say that. No, I deemed my collection was pathetic because I didn't have a Class 47. Very, very kindly sent it in. So I always keep saying thank you. It's just I remember your name. There's a couple of other people who've sent locomotives in very, very kindly. And I should have like a little list so that I can thank people. But thank you ever so much, Ian White. Timber Surf says trains have stopped. I think it's the angle, to be honest with you.
It'll be the angle.
Yeah, so let's change angle. It's just simply if there's the trains that are stationary are just parked. They're not the ones that are running. So if we change angle, I'm making the most of these two new angles. They may not last because whilst the novelty is there initially, there's not really enough going on. Hello to Dongit's Model Railway says it's definitely gambling if you don't pay enough attention. Yeah, you can't buy stocks and shares and just keep them forever and ever because very rarely does that pan out.
You've got to keep your eye on the ball and switch and move.
Naive Gauge says stock market is gambling for rich people. Yeah.
Or as Monica said on Friends, get in before they go down, which Joey then said was not his policy.
Yeah. Poshington01, hi to you. Anthony Dodd says it's my railway. That's good. How do we do this? I think that's an answer to somebody else.
Oh, you'll love this. I've just seen the greatest motivational poster ever. A shark could swim faster than I could, but I could probably run faster than a shark.
Yeah.
So in the triathlon, it would all come down to who is the better cyclist.
Yeah, if the shark doesn't eat you first, and then
But that would be a cheat. That would be cheating. They would get disqualified.
Yeah, but you'd still lose.
Well, yes.
Right, there's a comment I need to read out, but I'm just refilling. With the beverage of choice today is Diet Coke. No sponsorship deal, anything like that. Just like Diet Coke. Right, where is? Right,
I'm not
1701. Let me just read this out before it disappears. 1701, the file flyer says, yeah, they released a Class 47 TTS for a period, then it's not available anymore. Very frustrating. That was the Lady Diana Spencer one, I believe, and I as I understand it, it's been made a web exclusive. So it is still available, but you have to buy it direct from the Hornby website. That's the story behind that, just so that you're aware. Mark Holt says, you have a company pension, you probably own shares. Indirectly, I actually have a pension, which isn't so much gambling as I let other people do the gambling. Manthony 1956, hello. Did BR not re-motor locomotives? Some US railroads had rebuild programs throughout the years. Some were complete motor generator changes using other manufacturers' power plants. Some were just updates. Yes and no. In some cases they did, in other cases they didn't. So, for example, the entire fleet of Class 30s were re-engined with a different manufacturer's engine to become the Class 31s. Similarly, a number of Class 47s were re-engined to become the Class 57s. And I also believe that there are some Class 3s which received new, different engines. I believe the original engine was by Gardner. And whilst I don't believe it was under BR service, in private ownership, some of them did get new engines from a different manufacturer. There's also been, I think there's a couple of 37s got re-engined to become the 37-9s with completely different power plants, but they were more sort of a test bed type thing. Right, James Hardy asks, who do you think is more reliable, Hornby or Bachmann? I think they're both reasonable these days. In the past, I have found certain Hornby models have been lacking. The first releases of the L1 had a lot of problems with the front pony truck. But there's also been things like the N-Class from Bachmann. I remember when that first came out and there was a lot of issues with the tender drawbar assembly. So it is swings and roundabouts.
Which you also like.
Oh, I like swings and roundabouts. Andy 1962, my Bachmann 9F is very well built and a reliable model. I managed to fit Hornby TTS sound decoder with a small bass speaker from Roads and Rails. Relatively easy installation. Ian White says, anybody know of anybody who could weather a Class 08 for me? If you haven't received an answer, if anybody's got an answer for that, do put it in the comments. It's my model railway. Not sure. Right. Sorry, they're talking to each other. That's fine. Andy Law says, will a Cura scale do a Class 40? Never say never, but...
Never.
Where have you just... you did that on camera.
Yeah, because people couldn't see it.
Oh, right.
So I thought I'd just show that the TARDIS is out there.
So
you said never say never, so I said never. Never!
Yeah, I don't think they would. The Class 40 is reasonable from the... very reasonable. There's actually, if I go to that camera, let's wait for it to come up. This locomotive there is a Bachmann Class 40. I'm very, very happy with it. It is a pretty decent locomotive. That said, a lot of people would have said that the Bachmann Class 37, that's a dangerous one to go head-to-head with, but the 37's much longer lasting, many more of them, so probably a safer bet. And there were a few issues that people were quite vocal about with the Bachmann Class 37, and the Hornby 37 is very much a railroad thing, so a completely different market. But I would have said that a Cura scale, they will possibly go after something that's not already done. I know they've announced things where it's like an update of a model that somebody else has done in terms of the locomotives. But I do think that at some point we may see Steam releases from them. Nothing's been announced. I don't know of anything. But I do know that when I did the interview with Frenberg, he did say that their first locomotive release was going to be, I think it was the Thompson A2, until Hornby announced theirs, and they cancelled the project because they knew they couldn't go head-to-head on that. So they have, in the past, considered Steam outline stuff, so it stands to reason that in the future they might as well. What are you doing?
Setting up and making sure that the speakers are off and everything like that for when we do
okay, fair enough.
thingamajig.
Ryan G says, loving the new angles, cameras seem to be sharper too. Oh, excellent.
We didn't change
yeah. James Hardy asks, Jenny, have you had any problems with a Hornby locomotive? As I said before, yes, my L1 264 Adriatic tank from them, it's one of the early ones, and the keeper plate for the that keeps the front bogie in place is bending and breaking just because it's not a very good design, and it doesn't like going forwards because the design of the pivot is not very good. They did improve that, so let's give them their due. They do improve stuff. Other Hornby locomotives that I have had issue with, I did get a Duchess of Abercorn. The first one that arrived, the wheel back-to-backs was so completely out, it could literally fit between the rails on all wheels. It was that far out.
Wow.
And I thought, well, I'm not going to mess about. I'm not very good with setting back-to-backs because you have to kind of do stuff. I thought, I've just paid a lot of money for this, so I'm going to send it back. So I did send that back, and the replacement was absolutely fine. Still in my collection. Really great locomotive. They're the two that come immediately to mind. Big hello to Stuart Muir, Dongit's Model Railway. B. Mozza, good evening to you. Great to see you. Matthew Dunmo, Andy Laws. Why did Hornby 31 chassis fall apart? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff online about this. It's not all of them. It's just, I think it's 2 or 3 of them from earlier batches had zinc Mazak issues. Well, the zinc alloy that they made from. Everybody calls it Mazak. Mazak is actually a trade name, I believe, but it's a zinc alloy. And if you get lead contamination over a certain, very small amount, it causes a chain reaction within the crystalline structure of the metal that causes it to just disintegrate and do weird things. It's not just the Hornby early 31 certain liveries that has done this. This is something that, it's been known about for a long, long time. If you go back to pre-Second World War, Dinky Toys, some of them used to suffer from that. and certain Hornby 00 items have been known in certain casting batches to fail in the same way. And unfortunately, quality control fell down somewhere. The Hellion Class 47 first release of that suffered some issues there too. And there have been a few. I think the Bachmann N class, some of the earlier ones, had a running plate that failed with that. So there's a list on RM Web, I believe, which does give you a rundown of catalogue numbers, livery details, so you can track down if any of your models are at risk.
And sometimes that's worth just making
Oh, yeah,
sure.
yeah. Jay says, I like the new angle, Jenny Jew. I like that, Jenny Jew. Nice view of the storage yard.
Yeah, it's not
Thank you.
bad.
East Coast Steam says you can get a Class 47 TTS and rail freight sector livery that's not bad. Railroad, of course, could always buy one and nab the chip. And that is what I said about the Class 55. They will sell out. And then there'll be a huge number of them without a TTS sound chip in on eBay. I'll tell you that now.
Yep.
That is my prediction. And you know it's true because people are going to nab those sound chips to put into the Bachmann and probably the Acura scale ones as well. Andy Laws, are the latest Hornby 31s okay now? I do believe they are, yes. Map the Dragon Railways, hi to you. Ryan G, Class 56 getting new engines to become Class 69 for GB Rail Freight. 69 dudes. Robert Steers, greetings from Montana. A big hello to you, Robert Steers. And also, I did say at the beginning of the stream, thank you ever so much for your donation through the paypal.me. The last week, which I did miss at the time, but I did do the thank yous at the start of this stream. But thank you very much again. Matthew Domo says, hey Jenny, I have a question for you. What is the angle of your slope which leads to your fiddle yard? It is a 5% grade, which in all honesty is too steep. Trains will get up there, but you need a beefy locomotive and you can't pull long trains up because the drag is just too much. So I would suggest that you don't go as high as 5%. In fact, it's recommended 4%. It is probably the maximum you should consider certainly in 00 or HO. But even then, less is better if you can get away with it. Hello to Josh's Train Room and Matty as well. Class 43 HSTs also had a number of different engines fitted. The original ones had Rolls-Royce Tyne gas turbines fitted. In fact, the Rolls-Royce Tyne gas turbine was developed for the HST. British Rail then got cold feet and pulled out of that and decided to fit Davy Paxman engines in instead, leaving Rolls-Royce in the lurch. But Rolls-Royce then found a very lucrative market selling the Rolls-Royce Tyne gas turbines that they developed for the HST to the Royal Navy, and an awful lot of frigates and destroyers got Tyne gas turbines that should have gone into HSTs as their cruising engines. I know this because I went to see on F93 HMS Beaver, and she had a pair of Rolls-Royce Tyne gas turbines. She also had a pair of Rolls-Royce Olympus gas turbines for when they wanted to go really, really fast. Now, the Olympus gas turbine was the same engine that Concorde has. Although Concorde had 4 and F93 HMS Beaver only had 2. So there we are. Right. Ben Davis asks, do you know when we're going to be getting the Oxford Rail 2021 future announcement? I do not. There is no date announced from Oxford Rail. Normally they would have done it at the London Toy Fair, but that hasn't gone ahead, so it hasn't gone ahead. There will be an announcement. Models are being developed, but I don't know the date just yet. Certainly when I know, then I will pass it on. Right.
Not passing anything on COVID.
Anthony Dodd says, I have to say my new Hornby Captain Tom NHS Class 66 is a poor puller. 4 container wagons, that's its limit. Cannot beat Bachmann. Interesting.
It's a shame.
Right. Andy 1962 says, biggest gripe I have in the hobby at the moment is manufacturers using different colours for locos and coaching stock. Wish they'd get together to agree industry standard livery colours. Yeah. AD Pullen, big hello to you. Ben, they put an announcement out the other day to do with projects in the 2021 range. Gosh, they didn't tell me that. When I asked, they didn't actually tell me.
What's this?
The Oxford Rail 2021 links. a range announcement.
Well, that's a bit silly. We would have done a video on that, wouldn't we?
Oh, they may have had an announcement about the announcement. That's a thing these days.
Oh, yes, like in films, we have a trailer for the trailer.
Yeah, Cooper and District Model Railway Club, big hello to you. Jay asks, does anybody know if the original Hornby Smoky Joe with handrails was ever sold separately or was only as part of a set? I've just recently bought a customised weathered one from Bunter's Yard. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Actually, Vic Freak as well says the early Hornby T9s had Mazak rot on the motor mount. Yes, I've heard that as well. I think that the early rebuilt merchant navies had it with the front bogie as well. It's another one. That there are quite a few. Breezer 707 says motor problems with the S15. Richard Swiderski says TARDIS near Terrier inside. Oh, we've moved on from there. That's fine.
The doctor is out.
Yeah, the doctor is out. Let's have a look. East Coast team says, can you run a monster length train on the layout? Yes, we did a video on that with the Hellion Garrett, where we ran a train that was so long it went all the way around the layout, and it is quite a big layout, and hooked back on to the front of the train, and it moved it. And I can't remember, it's about 110 wagons long, something like that. Might even have been longer.
It was a bit big, wasn't it?
It was, and it did run. So yes, you'll have to have a look for that. Mark Wilson, HMS Beaver. No, really. Yes, it was F93 HMS Beaver. It was a Type 23 frigate. I believe the actual HMS Beaver is now sunk as an artificial reef somewhere. Oh, yes, that's right, because I went on it. They had to salt the ship and sink it to get rid of the taint from me.
I was going to say, is there a pink locomotive out, or is it the faded loco from Fading in the Sun?
Oh, just give that one a push.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh,
what is that? It's running, but just give it a little. I think the track's gone a bit greasy when it comes round. In fact, I know what we'll do. When it comes round,
you're going to switch it up.
No, I'm going
to. Trading Girl says, Zoe, out of curiosity, who was your favourite Doctor from Doctor Who? Okay, I like all of them for different reasons, but my favourite Doctor is Sylvester McCoy.
Oh yes,
because he masked his seriousness and all of his power by being a clown, and that always appealed to me because it's basically the definition of beware the nice ones. So. For me, it was definitely the Sylvester McCoy Doctor. Okay, Andy Lewis says, has anybody seen the latest recently announced Acura scale coil A/KAV wagons on the actual big railway?
Yes, I have seen them. They look amazing. Really looking forward to them. We did post on the Monday Club Facebook page some details and a video that they put out about those, so you can always see them there as well. Yes, really looking forward to them. I'm not seeing a bad item released yet from Acura Scale, and I have no expectation that there will be a bad item ever released from them. Their stuff, it really is the Rolls Royce of models.
Well,
right. J. Paul Anderson says, Jenny, your knowledge astounds me. I've never played Trivial Pursuit against me. You'll attest to this because I'm like a sponge for little bits of information.
Everything just soaks into her brain. It's really annoying. But yeah, I can attest. Do not play Trivial Pursuit against Jenny. She will beat you, and then she will win the game.
Bagnall Dave says, I have also visited HMS Beaver with a group of Beaver Scouts. Yes, I can imagine that it was actually. I think it was like the adopted ship of the Beavers, which for anybody who's sniggering from other countries, Beavers is like basically you have like scouts, but the younger scouts are called Cub Scouts, and the ones that are younger still than them, sort of like about infant school age, they're the Beavers. So it's like really, 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 really young scouts are called Beavers. I don't know how it works in other countries, but in case you're sniggering, it's like, nice beaver. Thanks, I just had it stuffed.
They're reintroducing beavers into the UK. They were pretty much hunted to extinction centuries ago. Now they're reintroducing them to combat climate change.
Yes.
Okay, I've got a question here. which is sent to me. Mantony1956 says, Zoe, how are your Blues doing? My Preds are undefeated. Fatherhood has been good for Pekka Rin.
Is this a hockey reference?
It is a nice hockey reference. Well, thank you very much, Anthony. But the Blues are doing well. We just won our first game 4-1, and one of our new drafts scored in his premier game. So first time out, first time score. We're doing pretty good. I think this season might be quite nice for us. So thank you very much.
Well,
Jenny has no idea, which is how I feel for most of this show.
Right, so, all right, thank you for the sports report. Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Ooh, ranch dressing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everyone's now talking about a pink O gauge and pink class 66.
James Petts has clarified here and says, according to RM Web, somebody posted that the Oxford Rail Facebook group had a post stating we will shortly give an update on the date for future announcements. So it is.
It's a trailer for a trailer.
All right. And when Russell Benton has corrected me, HMS Beaver Type 22. I bow before your knowledge. It's a long, long time since I last was on HMS Beaver. We went up to Iceland. It's a lovely trip. It's a shakedown cruise after some work being done at Faslane. I was in the Sea Cadets. You know, don't think, I didn't realise that Jenny was in the Navy. Jenny was not in the Navy. Jenny was in the Sea Cadets.
Navy.
Stop it.
We've just got a copyright strike.
Right, and Railway Music Lover. Hi Jenny, have you or anyone bought one of the Bachmann Class 45 in blue livery? I bought one and had to do a repair job on the windows. Wondering if anybody else has had the same issue. I do have a Bachmann Class 45 and I haven't had the issue, I have to say. Right. Yeah, everybody's correcting me. HMS Beaver was a Type 22, not a 23.
Oh, here's some interesting things from Bagnall Dave. Well done, Jenny. Beaver Scouts are 5 to 8 years old. Also beavers in Canada, but they're joeys in Australia.
Right, oh, that's fair enough. B. Mozza says there is a pink locomotive, a pink Class 66, which is number 66587. Yes, there is. And there was also a pink Class 55. No, it was purple, but it did weather to a pink.
Apparently, the Girl Scouts' youngest are called Daisies.
Daisy. Right, I'm skipping up to date because I'm well behind again.
Oh my goodness, East Coast Steam. Do not tell Jenny these things. But he says, if anyone's got a spare £678,000 kicking around doing nothing, there's an RR Olympus engine on eBay at the moment.
That's a lot of money for a gas turbine that's probably got quite a good few miles on the clock. But what's it come out of? Is it a marine-fitted Rolls-Royce Olympus, or is it an aviation Rolls-Royce Olympus? Now, you might think, well, you know, one Olympus is as good as the next. But it's a bit like a marine diesel versus a railroad power plant diesel. There's other bits and pieces like bolted to them that do different things. But the engines actually aren't that big. You think like, oh well, they must be huge. Gas turbines are not very big, and even in a big ship, when you go in the engine room, it's just like a little box covered in asbestos lagging or whatever the equivalent was. I mean, this was the mid-1990s. Health and safety wasn't quite a thing back then.
Health and safety happened to other people.
Yeah.
Okay,
but it was it was small.
22 minutes past 8, Jen. So in 10 minutes' time, we'll start doing the videos. So guys, if you have a video of your own layout that you want to show on the virtual model railway exhibition starting at 8:30, you have 10 minutes to email the URL. Do not email the video file itself, just the URL to zoe@zoerobinson.com.
Right, and Matt O'Vale says TARDIS is being towed by the pug, which is correct. So, let's change the camera angle. B. Mozza says St. John are badgers. Of course, yes, if you're in the St. John Ambulance Brigade, then the younger members are called badgers. So I'm like a sponge for random bits of information, which is why I appear really knowledgeable.
If four of the badgers are together, is the fifth one called a mushroom? Badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom. Everyone who's been on the internet too long now remembers that. You loved Badger, Badger.
I preferred Kenya. Kenya,
Come
Kenya.
to Kenya,
Can you
we've
believe
got
it?
lion.
Yeah, okay, right. Stop it now.
No, don't want to. No, don't want to.
Right.
Playing?
Ron B suggests putting that, I presume it's the Rolls-Royce Olympus gas turbine on your bike. Yeah, the trouble is that they didn't have drink diesel fuel.
These things can't be.
East Coast Steam says Concorde has the reheat fitted, which I presume is basically afterburner. James Petts, the only passenger airliner to ever have afterburners. Yeah, yes, it did. Tico360 says, what should I get for my birthday? A Hornby GWR King class or some freight rolling stock? My personal choice would be go for the King. The Hornby Kings are really, really good. And certainly, I don't know whether they still are on offer, but if you have a look on, I think it's Hatton's, had some at what's actually now quite a very keen price. So that is one that I would suggest.
What's wrong?
No. So I'm just looking at something. Right. James Pett. Oh yes, I approve of your approval. I approve of sponge, especially with custard.
Addy Pullen says, I've heard the Thompson A2/2 is due out soon.
I believe it is, yes. Right. Oh, Manthony 1956 says, yes, Daisy, after the Girl Scouts founded Juliet Gordon Lowe, whose nickname was Daisy. James Hardy says, what engine did the G2A have in it? Well, it was a G2A. It was a very large 8-coupled, I think it was Frank Webb, was it?
Garthian straight there,
Bowen.
TARDIS on the flat wagon behind the chat.
Garthian, I was in all the Scout section and share my birth month and year with the Beavers. I was even at the 10th birthday celebrations for the section at Blackwell Park.
Congratulations.
Well, I was in the Beavers and the Cub Scouts, it has to be said.
I was in none because there was a waiting list to join.
I didn't have that problem when I was young. And I was also in the Sea Cadets. Right, New Western Grove, would you recommend the Hellion Class 35 Hymex? I'm thinking of getting a DCC sound one. I haven't got one, but I have heard reasonable things about them. Now, somebody did ask before, I can't remember who it is who asked it, I was going to say it, and then Motormouth over here chipped in.
Sorry, go on.
Somebody asked, will OO run on HO track? Yes, HO and OO run on exactly the same track. Right.
Upwell and onwards, I think you've covered this in one of your videos, Jen. A bit of fun fact for Jenny and Zoe, which is that William Stroudley was Stroudley was thought to be colourblind, and his improved engine green livery looks more like Highland Railway yellow.
I believe it's an urban myth. I don't believe he was colourblind, and it was just a little in-joke.
Fair enough.
J94 says, would you review the Bachmann 94XX when it comes out, Jenny? Potentially. The trouble is that if I got everything that I need to get, then I would be spending literally thousands of pounds. So
she looks at me when she says that.
Yeah, it's down on the priority list, I am afraid. But yeah, could be tempted, definitely. Now somebody asked about the yellow coaches.
Yeah, what are they?
James Hardy asks, what are those yellow coaches? They're actually departmental Mark 1s. They are a breakdown train. Let me change the camera angle. So you just see them going back to there. They're regular Mark 1s. I think there's a 50-foot LMS full brake and a CCT as well. And they're in a departmental breakdown train livery. I think from the 1970s, 1980s is what they are. In fact, at least 3 of those are special commissions. So unless you got them at the time, they are actually quite tough to get. There's only one that I'm missing that I'm aware that was released, and it was the possibly the BSK or BSO. No, but there was a dormitory coach that Hornby did, and I never got that one for some reason. Right.
Interesting one here. Oh, where's it gone? Stephen Cameron says he was in the Air Cadets. You don't hear many people talk about the Air Cadets. They seem to be the one that everyone forgets.
Yeah. Also, we've got I Like Transport and a big hello to you. Nice to see you as well.
What's wrong?
I'm just looking through the comments. Right. 1701, the file flyer. I'd like to see Bachmann or maybe Hornby do some US diesels in a row scale. I don't think they would sell. Now, obviously, Bachmann do them in HO for the American market. You can buy them, and I just don't think there's enough market for US outline in 00. It's just financially not there. Oh, there we are. Tim Condrup has very, very kindly donated £1.99 on the super chat and asks, would you like a jelly baby? Brackets 4th Doctor. Yes, I would. Thank you very much. I will have a jelly baby.
You do love jelly babies.
When you put it like that, I don't. Right. Are we going to start doing
Yes.
Right.
Live and in colour.
Right, so we're going to move over to some of your videos that you sent in. If I sound a bit incoherent, I'm not at 100% because I had insomnia last night. I have barely slept.
Yeah, you're running on like a couple of hours.
Yeah, a couple of hours, and what caffeine that I can suck from this Coke. But as we all know, come rain or shine, illness or otherwise, never going to miss a Monday Club if I can help it.
The Monday is always here. Monday is coming.
Canadian Rail fan, big hello to you as well. Let's have a right. Evening, everyone. I've had some good news. I've got my PhD in mechanical and electrical engineering. Boom!
Congratulations.
Very much. James Pett says insomnia is not fun. Sleep well this evening. I feel like I will. I just in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking, why am I not falling asleep? And it got to past 5 a.m. I remember seeing 5 a.m. on the bedside clock. Yeah, I don't get it often, but very occasionally I do, and it's like my mind just won't switch off. And then I had to get up at the latest I could push it to was 10 a.m. So I got up at 10 a.m. So that's like what, 4.5 hours sleep, and I can't function on that. And I've had a very busy day doing the super secret Project 10 build. Wink, wink. So I am building a new project. Can't tell you much about it apart from it's for a TV series, but that's about that.
It involves some sort of physical material.
Gareth,
it will be visible to the human eye.
Gareth Davies asks, what is insomnia? Insomnia, however you spell it. Insomnia is where you just can't fall asleep. It's like your brain doesn't switch off, so you stay awake instead of falling asleep. And this, you can end up just lying in bed doing nothing for hours, trying to fall asleep and failing to. Some people get it worse than others. I only get it very occasionally, but last night
Whereas I get it every single night, which is why I spend an awful lot of time on the internet. Okay, so our first entry tonight for the Virtual Model Railway exhibition is actually from Henry's Transport, who sent in a very nice picture that if you could bring it up on screen.
So this is from...
It's a little doggy.
Oh.
And we were talking last week about a shed that was from Wick.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. We have some of the trains in it.
On the northern outpost of Britain's railways.
Yeah, and then we also have some of the locomotives that happen to be there.
Yeah, no, they're multiple units.
That's what I meant.
Because that's 158. I'm guessing they're both 158s.
Yeah. So, if you could jump back, I will. Then we don't show off all of our emails.
Yes, we don't draw back the curtain and go, oh, here's the nuts and bolts that makes the Monday Club work. Oh, and by the way, these are your emails. Like, you've had that nice Nigerian general trying to wrest money.
So here's the other ones I was trying to find from a different angle. It's the storage shed at Wick, from what I can tell.
That's the train shed.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So we were talking about last week. So it's basically, my goodness, that is
very moody skies.
Yeah.
Yes.
And little doggy.
Little doggy.
I love little doggy. Oh, that's an interesting angle.
That's a very modelable location if you want something like a photo plank, with the bridge giving a kind of a little bit of a focal point to the embankment. But yeah, definitely really interesting. So thank you very much for sending those in. So yeah, Ruben Ashwell says such a cute dog.
But that's not all.
Right, Wangok says, Jenny, when I get insomnia, I fire up an episode of... That's mean. So people do say that, but I'm not going to comment.
Okay, we have a video, and oh my goodness, sorry to everyone who just got deafened there.
Oh,
this video decided to play with the sound on.
Was it suddenly sponsored by Billy's Replacement Speakers?
Pretty much. This is the video from Henry's Transport. If you want to bring it up, Jen.
Okay.
And this is actually from Wick, a bit of video footage.
Oh, a bit. Oh, look at the clag. Look at this. See, I know all the lingo. That's actually quite blue smoke there, is that? That's burning a bit of oil there. Ooh, best get those rings seen to.
Here we go. ScotRail.
In fact, actually, no, where's my sound effects? I'll find it then.
Okay.
There we are, that's the right one.
Excuse you.
Oh, it's no, it's just
repeating
repeating. Right, okay, I'm going to go to Jab Light.
Yeah, so that was very nice. So thank you very much, Henry.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Always appreciate it. And of course, don't forget that you can send in URL links. Do not, under any circumstances, just attach it as an email attachment because it will not get through.
Yeah, I'm actually getting regular messages now from Google telling me all of your space is full.
You have to delete them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I can't do my work, so I have to delete them.
So only send the URL, which is the bit you find in the browser, for your video on something like YouTube, but there are other ways, as we've just seen, to do it, to zoe@zoerobinson.com. Please, please, please put Monday Club in the subject line, and that just helps the Cupboard Monkey to find it. Right, do we have the next one up?
1701, the Field Flyer says probably a cold start for that.
Could be.
Right, we do have an interesting one. Now, this is something that, again, we were talking about last week, which is possibly why we've got some links to it now. But this should be very interesting.
Right, so...
And this one...
Oh!
If I can get it to actually load... Give me a break, you horrible machine! What are you doing to me, man?
White Wall Wheels 1 Hardcore MOH. That's a bit of a mouthful. And this is the layout that we've seen a few times, actually, regular to the show.
Yeah, but this is interesting. Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends and the Beatles Eurostar.
Oh, yes. That actually is a very interesting livery.
And it's all crashed. Are we still even online? What's going on now? Why is this... why? What's going on?
Right, okay.
Why?
I think we are still online. Right, I'm moving over. Press play. That is actually quite an interesting livery. I am impressed with that livery. Yeah, we all live on a yellow submarine.
That's really nice.
It is the Beatles one, isn't it? Yellow submarine. Do we all live in a yellow submarine?
Here it comes again.
Which I bet, was it Yellow Submarine as one of the few songs written by Ringo Starr?
It's the Blue Meanie and all the... It's the animation and everything. It's great. There's the Blue Meanie.
That is really nice. Oh, there's the Fab Four.
I love it.
Interestingly enough, in the Yellow Submarines, the Fab Four were voiced by other people. They only appear briefly in person towards the end of that film, and it was for contractual reasons. They had to appear in the film, so they appeared in it the least possible time. And I believe...
To be honest with you, it works better. Because having them look a bit strange and stylized, they should sound a bit strange and stylized as well. Now, and it works perfectly.
Here's a not very well known fact, another thing for Trivial Pursuit. I believe it was the voice artist who voiced, I think it was Paul McCartney. It turned out he was AWOL from the army. So he got arrested halfway through the recording for being absent without leave from the army.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Yes. Right.
That is a wonderful livery, though. The artwork is just amazing. I love the artwork from Yellow Submarine. I could talk about it all day. It is one of the best
I like
films
the
I've ever
delivery
seen.
application on that is really, really
There's the
nice.
Nowhere Man. Oh,
Nowhere.
He's the Nowhere Man in his nowhere world, writing his nowhere stories for a nobody.
I've got the Yellow Submarine song track downstairs on a vinyl LP. So.
Andy1962 says it was sung by Ringo, but written by Paul and credited to Lennon and McCartney.
Oh, right. So was it Maxwell's Silver Hammer was a Ringo Starr written track?
That sounds about right. That
Um,
is such an amazing layer. I love it. So much going on it.
yeah, gosh, that's going a bit fast. There's a lot of stoofs, and there's a raised section in what appears to be N-Gauge or 009.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, look, thank you very
That
much.
is fantastic. Thank you so much to George for sending that in.
That is really great. I'm really liking that. Right, so what have we got next?
Well, we do have something else, because of course we do.
Ron B says, good night to all. Have to go until next week. You take care, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. And happy modelling, and we'll see you then.
We have an interesting one here from Bernard Walker.
Railway Music Lover says, my mother has won some of the original Beatles records. My mother did as well, and then somebody nicked them all.
Yeah.
Right, was this Crossways Point Junction? I didn't quite...
Sorry,
Crossways Point Junction, Bernie. And
yes.
I'm very impressed by your track work here. Right, I'm going to...
And this one
we're now full screen.
It's a running session from a long time ago, but not in a galaxy far, far away.
I like you got the Class 55 there. Looks very nice. But no, I'm very impressed with the track work. I like complicated track work.
It's very complex, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it?
Isn't it? Standard.
Everyone's now talking about Beatles songs.
See, I like the later period of Beatles. I didn't like the early stuff. It's like basically when they found hardcore drugs, then they became interesting.
Okay, that's a message that we don't want to be sending to kids.
Oh, yeah, don't do drugs. Drugs are bad for you.
They are.
Unless they're the good ones, like, you know, like
the ones that were
the ones that make you better.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But we call those medicine.
Oh, yeah. Andy 1962 said Maxwell's Silver Hammer was written by Paul, but the other Beatles hated it. I always thought that was a Ringo Starr composition.
You don't know the Beatles very well, do you, Jenny?
Apparently not.
This is a nice layout.
Oh, I do like those Mark 1s in the blue-grey. Oh.
Are we going to get any other angles?
Um,
Let's jump it on, just have a look and see. No.
No, it's well, it's like when we first started doing trains running. We picked an angle.
We did.
So look, thank you very, very much for sending that in. So we're going to go over to
we have
the next
one that's a little bit special.
Oh,
because it's not trains, but it is something that we'll find interesting.
Huh?
So we've had a message from Michael, Model Railway Noob, and he's sent in something special that I think I will very much like. It is a flight over London from Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Oh?
Now I think this is actually the new Flight Simulator, the one that looks incredible. Oh my goodness. Do you want to bring that up on screen?
Well, it was supposed to be a model railway.
Yes, but this one we have to see because of that. Are we on screen now?
Yes, we are on screen.
Look at that. That's a custom display so that you can actually feel like you're in it.
So is it going to buzz some of the London terminal stations?
How good does that look?
I like the slight blur where you've got the prop.
Yeah. So which plane is this? Is this one of the modern Cessnas? No, it can't be. It's it looks wrong. The display looks wrong.
Oh, you're a real expert, aren't you?
No, and the fuselage is wrong as well. Huh. So it's probably one of the other little mini ones. That is a really nice display. I'm going to move it on a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they buzz like the sightseeing, spot the sights. I wonder if we're going to get any of the London termini. There we are, correct Latin plural of terminus.
Yeah.
Words ending in US, plural is usually double.
Oh my goodness, oh
yes.
My goodness, I need to play this. Oh.
And I suppose from a model rail perspective, it'd be a really good way of going and like sussing out the lay of the land for somewhere you might want to build a model of. There's Tower Bridge.
Yeah, yeah. You can essentially see all this stuff from different angles. Oh, that is so good. Yeah, that's not a Cessna.
That is impressive.
That is not a Cessna. The wingspans are wrong.
Oh right, apparently Model Railway Noob says sorry, wasn't meant for this. It was just for your interest, right?
Oh, well. So thank you very much. I will enjoy that
myself. Intrigued, definitely.
Richard Skłodowski said, "I feel that."
Yeah.
Okay, are we moving back on?
Yeah. I've already.
Thank you so much, Model Railway Noob. I am going to enjoy that myself later on. because I need to play this. Oh,
Andy 1962 says late Michael Angelis was a voice artist in Yellow Submarine film. Was he the guy who played Onslow in Keeping Up Appearances? Because I know he did one of the voices. Melchester Molero says just flew over Cannon Street. Canadian Rail fans says to make it more realistic. Oh, that's a bit naughty. Then if you buzz London Station, the RAF scramble and shoot you down. Big hello to Mike and Sue Pudham Junction. It's my model railway. Jenny Beatles on every album. The Beatles allowed George and Ringo to sing a solo. Here Comes the Sun and Maxwell's Silver Hammer. Actually, I really like the George Harrison compositions, like My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Oh, that is a good one.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
this is Ickham Road.
Ickham Road.
A New Year's running session at Ickham Road.
Okay, make it full screen. Make it so.
Here
Okay, we're good.
Okay, we have a bit of text to go with this one. Hi, I hope you and Jenny are have been keeping well and safe. We are in a very hard time at the moment, but you both bring a bit of fun to my Monday evenings. Oh,
thank you.
Oh, especially with the poking finger, which Jenny took off me.
I don't know where it's gone, to be honest.
And he says, I was wondering if you wouldn't mind looking at the link to my model railway. I've been building up for about 8 months. And I feel like it might be up to standard to be shown on the Monday Club. Don't worry about standards, guys. The club is open to everyone, regardless of skill levels or experience.
And it's often really good to see where people start from and see progress. But also it's really great to see like the behind the scenes, the behind the curtains, so the way you've constructed your baseboards as well. It's often really useful to people too.
So what have we got here?
It's one of the Hornby Railroad 040s with a single Mark 1 coach.
I like
got some
that
lovely,
fencing.
in the grassland. I love the greenhouse there. It's really caught my excuse me, it really caught my eye.
This is actually very nice.
So we've got an upper and lower level as
Which
well.
is always good, because I keep saying this to people. The world is not flat. We have hills, we have overpasses and all sorts.
I'm sure I caught sight of a miniature railway going.
Whoa!
Whoa! Always really fast. Like whee, whiz, whiz, whiz.
Meow, meow.
Sounded more like a cat being tried. So that's the
I like the way
LMS
he's incorporating
2P.
some of the walls and other structures.
That was a Hornby 00 well troll. I approve of Hornby 00. And woo,
Meow.
whiz, 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 whiz.
It's very nice, actually. I
Swish,
quite
swish,
like this.
into slice. It's like a miniature railway going on using N-gauge by the look of it. Oh, now it's on the upper level. Ah.
See what I mean? He's incorporating the structure of the run into the railway, which is always a nice way of doing it.
It appears to be a squashed figure of 8, I would guess, because the train's running on the top and then running on the bottom. Yeah, there's the crossover.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it's going up.
There we are. Hornby 00 well troll for the win.
I love the fencing work he's got there. It looks great.
Yeah. And a nice bit of scenery hillside as well.
Also,
looks
you notice
really,
that
really
he's painted the bricks blue.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got
Harry
a blue
Potter.
background. This is very nice.
Yeah. Really enjoying this. Look, thank you very much for
Yeah.
sending this in.
So 8 months. That's pretty good going.
Right, so, Class D Industrial Shunter, says Jay. Skipsy Trains, big hello to you, and says, liking the scenery. Yeah, great work. Do keep it up.
Yeah, it really is very nice. And I think we're going to see some good things from this, because clearly it's
Do keep us
still in
updated.
progress.
I'm really loving your scenery coming together there. So, did I spy a bottle of wine?
That's how you model.
Yeah, drunk.
That way, when you come back in, every day is a surprise.
Yeah, well, what did we do last night? Whoa!
Wow, did I do that?
Oh my word! Somebody get a mop and bucket. Right.
Oh, Keith Pointer says Milo Hit's taken 10 years to build. It's still not finished, and I'm still dreaming of it being done. Yeah. Do you want to move on, Jen?
Yep.
This is very nice.
Thank you very much for sending that in.
Yep, that's Ickham Road. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to find the next one. What have we got? Regular to the show, Tim Condrup. He's got something that looks quite interesting on the thumbnail here. Ooh. So what are you looking at there, Jen?
I'm just trying to speed match those two.
Right. So if you bring this up,
Radio.
Now, today it's Tim Condrup,
Aha.
and this is his Class 8s from Hornby and Bachman.
Ooh, gronk, 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 gronk.
Yes, we've got Gronks on the brain today.
Is that the Dutch livery or the Victoria Railways livery there? It's got the face on, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Sodor Ironworks.
No, not that one. The one in the middle.
I don't know.
And then that's Havisham, I think. Is it Havisham? Is it 08011? Could be wrong on that front. There appears to be another Class 8 sat just tucked away behind that Sodor Ironworks as well.
Simon Train says, Gronks with faces, and Ollie T says italics.
Oh, right. I can take your word for it.
They are cute. They really are.
Donget's Model Railway is asking me, what's the blue coach immediately behind the Ribble one? It's actually a Hornby, I'm not sure what type of coach it is. It's a Southern Railway, non-gangwayed.
There's a one with
it's like a
purple
bogie
livery. Look at
utility
that.
van. Oh,
That is interesting.
Splatter.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's Dirty Diesel. Dirty.
Oh.
But-
I like the purple
Yeah,
one.
I'm trying to see what the blue one is behind Sodor Ironwork. Go on, show me. Oh, mainline. A mainline one. Oh, it's just the body. Right, now I understand. Yes. And then there's another one there. What's it? It's like
Yeah, that's a splatter on the purple one. I'm looking on the.
I'm trying to read.
monitor
Is that
now.
does that say something or does it say?
It does say something, doesn't it?
Ooh. I don't know what it says.
Neither
But
do I.
look, it's always.
These are really cool.
Yeah, you never have too many Gronks.
Absolutely.
I like the one there. This one, Havisham. Yeah, Havisham. Oh, it's got a D number on. I thought it was 08011, but it's actually D3018.
Right, Andy 1962 has corrected us from earlier on. The name of the guy who voiced George in the Yellow Submarine film was Peter Batten. He was a deserter from the British Army of the Rhine, and Paul Angelis took over his voice role.
I knew that there was something. So, are we not amazed that I actually knew that there was something like that going on?
Are you not
Who was
entertained?
Onslow? The guy who played Onslow in Keeping Up Appearances. I'm sure he voiced one of the Beatles in Yellow Submarine.
No, I
as well.
think he did.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim, those are fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
We'll
thank
jump on
you.
a little bit and see if they start moving. Because he normally runs some. It may just be...
No, it's just...
this is a showcase today. That's
no
fine.
worries. But look, thank you very much for that. Always great to see other people's collections
Absolutely,
as well. So thank you very much, Tim Contrup, for sending us that link
Yeah,
for the
always
Gronk
nice.
Fest.
Okay,
Right.
Next up we have some
Right.
photos.
J94 says that Splatter and Dodge.
Right. Dodge. Okay. Right. Next up we have some photos from Ben Powell.
Devil Ghost says says Gronk Power, get them on the main line. Well, I've got.
Yes.
I've
Gronks.
got whoa! I've got Piccadilly going round
We
on
have
the main
Gronks
line.
for days.
Yeah. Oh, I'm seeing on the screen. I'm going to go over to the browser.
Yes.
This I'm very impressed with. It looks like a Kerr Stewart. Is it an 009 or is that 016.5?
You'll like this. We've got a bit of text to go with it.
Oh, right,
So,
yes.
This is from Ben Powell. He says, "Hi Zoe and Jenny, please find attached a couple of pictures of my 009 shunting engines.
Oh,
Both are scratch built from brass with a
Oh.
few white metal fittings even. They are both Peckett
Wow.
locomotives.
Peckett. I thought it was Kerr Stewart, but yeah.
Oak Hill was constructed for the Oak Hill Brewery in Somerset. The 060 was one of 4 constructed for the Senna Sugar Estates in South Africa. Also, there is a picture of my Hornby W4 and B2 Pecketts, which have been repainted and weathered by me. So let's have a quick
Right.
look at these.
I'm
Now
very
that is
impressed with that.
impressive. It really is.
I mean, scratch built. Wow, that is really, really high standard. I'm loving it. And
Yeah.
009. Wow, that is a great model.
Then we've got, which
Ooh.
one's that? The Oak Hill?
Yeah, Oak Hill.
Okay, so that's the one that was constructed for the Oak Hill Brewery.
That is
Very nice.
with their outside frames, really nicely done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looking very good there.
I'm liking that. And then these are the 2 repainted Pecketts.
I think so, yes.
Actually, that's a really nice livery. I'm
Yeah.
liking that. It's like a works, something like a steel works, with the yellow, which suggests a late survivor even into the early 70s. And with the wasp stripes as well. I do love a steam locomotive with the wasp stripes. Really, really nice.
They are very, very well done.
I am impressed with them. Very
it's a very
impressed.
impressive look.
I take my hat off to you.
Yes, your invisible hat.
Yes.
Does it go with your invisible clown horn?
Yeah, something
Oh my
like
goodness, I can't do it today.
Yeah. Maybe next week we should have a hat day. Everybody wears a hat.
I'm happy with a hat day. I like a hat.
Yes, you do. But, you know, it's like everybody wear a hat to work day. Is there another picture?
Picture now.
Okay. So thank you ever so much. That's really interesting to see those.
Yeah,
I really like them.
Okay, we've got one video and some photos left. So, well, actually, we might end on time this week.
Right.
So,
right.
got the Cooper and...
Jeff Hughes. Can I just say, Jeff Hughes was Onslow. He had a varied career. He did carry-on films, kind of took Greengrass's place in Heartbeat. He also played M.R. Vernon. Yeah, M.R. Vernon in Heartbeat. He played Paul McCartney. Right, yes, I knew he was in that. He was also in the film The Virgin Soldiers, for which a Black Five was dressed up as a Malaysian loco and derailed for a scene before being scrapped. Brilliant.
Jen, you are going to love this.
What?
So
Cooper and District Model Railway Club.
Yes.
If you make that full screen.
What we have here is an ON30 layout from the driver's point of view.
Okay, let's. Oh, I'm very
How good is that?
Very impressed already. Oh, I love the scenery.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Oh, that is so well done.
Oh, wooden trestles. I do love a good wooden trestle. This is lovely.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Oh, it adds so much to see it from like this kind of perspective.
Yeah.
Wow.
It makes it feel real. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's got a very American flavour to it with the
It kind of does, yeah.
Oh, right. They've cut a little
Nice transition there.
Yeah, we were going to see behind the curtain, but no. Oh, right, so it will go all the way round the back. I'm with you. There'll be a fiddle yard at the back. Oh, we're going over the other bridge, which means we get to look at that very intricate trestle there to the left.
That is so well done.
Really
Oh
like
my goodness. Those rocks at the back. Oh, it's so good.
Really nice.
Oh, this is amazing.
Thank you so much for this, actually.
Okay, the Cooper and District says layout was at Wally 2018 and also featured in Continental Modeler. Yeah. Oh.
And this is nice. Really nice.
This is feature material. It's wonderful.
I am really liking this. What?
Jay says, that's great, but the people in the background, you haven't made them to scale. Oh, this is wonderful. Yeah, everyone's looking and saying this is amazing. That Locomotive we saw, the big American one, that's fantastic.
Is that made by Spectrum, something like that? Bachmann Spectrum?
Oh.
Yeah.
So good. I love the way they've got the texture on that wood to make it look weathered and real.
David Crompton's got to head off, but look, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
You stay safe and see you next week.
Yeah, Ben Tullett says, I've seen this layout at a show and it looks fantastic. It really does. This is wonderful stuff.
Oh, and here we are. Here's pub trivia knowledge. Matty says, interesting fact about that Black 5, the one from the Virgin Soldiers. It is the only loco that hauled the 15 guinea special that doesn't survive in preservation. So,
oh, that's a shame. Those tunnels that are on it as well.
Oh, hold on.
Looking at the monitor.
I've just looked back and there's an upper level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much going. Every single part of this just looks photorealistic from my point of view.
Ooh.
It's amazing stuff. But
that is nice.
I love it. Every single part of that is so good.
Thank you very much. Oh, look at the depth on that bridge. That's something I've always wanted to do.
And Cooper says the bridges are all hand done. It's amazing.
It's really nice. Thank you.
Yes, Stephen Cameron, you've just said exactly what I was thinking there. If I were to build a Wild West layout, I would seriously consider using ON30. That's what it looks like. It looks like Wild West, and it's amazing.
Wham Gok's got to head off, so you take care. See you next week. But people are really loving that. Yeah. Christopher Piner Jr., hi to you. Gary Lewis, hi Jenny. Busy working day, so only just joined chat tonight. Seeing the 009 Shunter Oak Hill. There is a video series of SDJR on YouTube, and one shows the old pictures of the Oak Hill Brewery tramway. Ah, excellent.
Oh my goodness, I enjoyed that.
There's a few
video.
people having to head off.
Well, we're
but-
very close to the end now.
Shanghai 264359, big hello to you as well. Map the Dragon Railways. Let's have a look.
So what? Map the Dragon sent us a photo in saying same as before, but without the pegs and with the flowers. So you want to jump onto that?
Right, so just going.
Looks like he's building a wall.
Yeah, I like the
With
little
all
posters.
the posters. Yeah, very old style posters. They are very nice. Actually, when I was working on the
Crossways Point Junction, Bernie. We've shown your video. We showed it earlier on with the
did.
Gronks.
Sorry to say, yeah, you'll have to scroll back a bit. But these
Russell Benton's got to head off just very quickly.
these adverts on there, the Bovril one and all that, the tin plate ones, you can still find them around at some of the local
very expensive.
local railways. If you go to West Horton Railway, then the entire area is lined with them because they've tried to make it as scenic as possible there. So you see all kinds of brilliant.
Christopher Piner Jr. asks, do you have Thomas and... Oh, hold on. Thomas and his friends, or any Thomas and friends rolling stock, because I want to see. Unfortunately, no, I don't. Although with the new Bachmann range being launched in the UK, it may be something that we get in the future.
Now I see. I think we were supposed to see that email and that photo second.
Right.
So if you come back to this,
Okay.
Matt the Dragon sent us an email with some description. Hello Zoe, whilst watching the stream, I have been scratch build. So while watching the stream tonight, he's been scratch building a booking office for his micro layout.
Cool.
Yes.
So, this is what he's been working on
this is what he's been
whilst we
working
were
on tonight.
being silly earlier on.
Yeah. Here's
Wow.
the back of the booking office that I've been doing. The last picture is a ticket office window with a couple of tickets and a cup of tea. Oh my goodness, we have to see this. So this is the booking office, and he's really gone all in on it.
Nice work.
Yeah, nice weathering, nice little bit of discolour. Oh, that is wonderful.
Where's this? Is that for the original Titanic? For the was it
like, yeah.
Night to Remember or something?
Oh my goodness.
Will's Gold Flake.
And there you
You
are.
can't eat it.
There's his last one. It's
Oh.
the ticket office window with a couple of tickets and a cup of tea.
Oh,
That is
nice.
fantastic.
Brilliant.
Well done.
Thank you ever so much for sending those in. Much appreciated.
That makes more sense now when we're talking about the plates.
Uh,
Oh, that is
right,
wonderful. And that is our
um,
final one.
Matty says, someone purchased the Black 5 for preservation after the film. I remember reading this, actually, I do. But recovery costs after it were derailed were too expensive, so it was cut up on site.
Oh, we've had 5 more emails. I'm sorry to say they've come in after I checked all my emails.
Skipsy Trains has spent the evening working on the layout whilst listening to the stream. I'm liking the new high camera angle. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
they're very nice. I do like. Right, guys. So we've had an email from Logan Clary, Ben Powell, Jeff Hammond, David Morton, and Mark Holt. We've had a lot of stuff sent in.
Wow, well,
But unfortunately, we are at 9 o'clock, and I've just found them because they've come in while we were showing these things.
so thank you very much, Sender.
We're going to show them at the start of next week's exhibition.
Okay, so thank you very much for sending those in. If we haven't shown you video yet, it is in the list to
It's in the bag.
play out for next week. Now, don't forget to check out the Monday Club Facebook page, where we're going to be putting up a poll, probably from tomorrow. If I don't put it up, somebody give me a nudge and I will put it up. To pick the theme for the overarching theme for next week's Monday Club. But until next time, don't forget to like the stream, share it too on social media, and if you haven't already done so, do consider subscribing to the channel to be first to know about new videos as and when they go up. Now, we've got a review of, in fact, actually, let me try and find the right camera angle. It's an interesting point, actually. Oh, it's
You have no idea where.
yeah, there we go. All right, so the Hatton's Andrew Barclay, which is going round and installed behind me. Nobody mentioned that, or if they did, I didn't see. That is getting a full-on review treatment. Not tomorrow, Wednesday. And Friday's video is the all-new release from Nwins 3D. You may have seen a little teaser of that Coming up as the header picture on the Monday Club Facebook page, we've got a full review video of that exciting new range of products coming out for the Friday video. But until next time, you guys take really great care of yourself. And this is me, Jenny Kirk, with the Cupboard Monkey, saying take care, happy modelling, stay safe.
I knocked you off there. You weren't expecting me to say that.
Yeah. But look, you guys, you take great care of yourselves. Bye for now.